Hi guys, I'm Matt Ryan.
I'm John Drew O'Neill.
And you're listening to Chris Gordon on
Ramblings of a Hellblazer.
Hey everyone, this is Angelica Celaya, and you guys are listening to Chris Gordon, Ramblings of a Hellblazer.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Hellblazers, wherever you are. I hope everybody is well. Well, what can I say? What a couple of weeks it has been. First Will Campbell, then Angelica, then John Joe and Matt, who hijacked the interview. Most welcome, I must say. John Joe, I will get to interview again, and Matt, I will also get to interview again. So that's all going to come together soon. Today I'm going to bring another Constantine favourite to your ears. Yes, another one, I hear you say, so soon. This man was responsible for the mill house itself and the set design of the show. He is well known to the Hellblazers worldwide for his active participation on Twitter throughout when we were trying to save this Constantine show. So, ladies and gents, I bring to you Mr. Dave Blass. So, Hellblazers here, we are talking with Mr. Dave Blass, the production designer for Constantine. Hi Dave, how are you?
Excellent, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome there. I will try and keep this short because I can see you're busy, with your cell phone being running off its hook already.
It does that, so welcome to the film business.
Well, it's great to finally talk to you anyway, and I appreciate you finding the time in your busy schedule to do this interview. So I've got a fair few questions for you from people across the fandom, and for those of you listening, if I've missed yours out, I do apologise. I'm trying to keep them short for you, so you don't spend a good hour or so talking away when you could be sorting out secrets and lies.
There you go.
Cool. So, first question is, what was your favourite set to work with on Constantine? Or anywhere, actually?
I think it was a combination between the sewer system, which was just a big design challenge to make it do all the things that it needed to do. It held 3,000 gallons of water. It had to be creepy. We had to be able to pull walls off so you could get in there and shoot, and it had to be modular so that we could make it look like it was a bigger set than it was, corners and angles, and then obviously the mill house, which was a great design challenge because you're designing for the future of what could happen in the series. So there were so many little things that we never got to show. Terribly sorry.
That's all right. Just apologise to anyone listening. I've paused it for you while you took your calls out. No problem.
So that in the mill house, because there was so many things. There were like hidden sliding doors. There were trap doors in the floors. There was bricked up walls that were supposed to be hiding demons, and we had some that had the bricks broken so that the demons had snuck out, and all the stuff that you're like, okay, this is gonna be cool if we, there's like 82 different doors because there kept them in. Here's the door that goes to the hallway, the infinity hallway. Here's the door that goes to this, and even the thing like the dumbwaiter that was featured in episode 10. Mm-hmm. No, in episode 8. Sorry, Saint of Last Resort. That was something that I had built into the set early on, and we were trying to design the chase scene where Zed is captured, and they're like, well, but if she's here, how does she get downstairs without going back to the staircase? And everyone's freaking out. I go, she uses the dumbwaiter, duh. And they're like, what dumbwaiter? And then I show them, and they're like, oh, that's actually a really cool idea, because she can go down there, and then the guy has to go back around, which gives her the room to escape. So,
all right, that sounds brilliant. I do remember.
And I'd like to take full credit for it, but I completely stole that from Spiderwood Chronicles. But it was fun.
Awesome. I do remember in episode 1, you opened one door, and like Constantine was like, no, you're not. I'm not even ready for that yet. And you could see the potential in that set was just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Cool. What prop were you most proud of?
Sadly enough, we actually never saw it. Was the book that we did for Jacob Shaw, and that was the one where they go into the netherworld with Richie. We spent so much time on that book because the book was supposed to be such an integral part. He's got this book that does a thing, and he's been so it was like a Grail diary. It was, old and aged and little things tacked in there. And, the drawings, each thing was handwritten, and it was just an entire book of handwritten clues and things so that you could flip through it and barely ever saw it. I don't even, because it was, in the thing, it was like, oh, well, he's got the book. Whoever has the book has it. And then the book became almost meaningless. So, but we spent, my art director, Hugo Santiago, spent a week getting the backstory of Egyptian mythology and everything, so that the symbols that were written on the ground were accurate and everything had meaning, and that everything in the book had meaning, so that the symbols and and
fantastic.
Never saw it.
Oh, what a shame. So much.
But we did a lot of things with for other props and different things that we added in there, especially specifically for the DC fans. At one point, John grabs the twin blade, which was a very important thing in the Hellblazer books. He never really used it. Another thing we did with Felix Faust is, again, that it was just kind of, we put it in there to hearken to something for the future. Is that if you look at his desk, we had the green bell, the red jar, and the silver wheel of. They have. I know the bell jar of the wheel is like Nurgathan, but it was like these were, if you were able to get these three items together, you could call the Demon 3, which was like the ultimate. And so that was the whole thing. It was like that was like integral to Felix Faust. Had nothing to do with our story, but we added it on the table, and it's like, well, he's got them. He's got a much bigger plan going on. And then when he dies, everyone's like, oh, he's dead. And it's like, he's got the bell, the jar on the wheel. He's not going anywhere. It's like, he's all powerful now, so, he'll be back. So it's the little things like that we added into the set that I thought were fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's so many Easter eggs which, as well, that are hidden around that people could see there and see the potential for future episodes. It's absolutely brilliant. I'll skip the next one because it was about to say, do you do much research for the show? But you kind of just answered that in the fact that, yeah, you do. You've gone into intimate research and intimate detail in how you've planned for that set there.
Well, and it's challenging on a show like something like this because you have a fan base where people have been doing the reading the comics for 20 years.
Yeah.
They read one issue at a time. It's like, from the time I got the job to the time we started shooting was, just over a month. Mm-hmm. So I've got to cram an entire, our wall of Hellblazer research. And then it's not even just Hellblazer. It's like all the other comics as well that are brought into it and the crossovers and, Swamp Thing and whatnot. So it's, doing stuff like that's such a challenge. Yeah. So, it's like you go to work and then you come home and go to work. But, especially it was great when I was flying back and forth on planes. I'm sitting there reading comic books and everyone's kind of like, oh, you're a comic book nerd. I'm like, no, I get paid to read comics.
That's a pretty awesome job, to be fair.
Yeah. So
cool. In your mind at first, what type of setting did you think you'd need for Constantine then, when you first sort of came across it?
Well, I took over. I didn't do the pilot, which is the first episode, so I came in, and Aaron Osborne, who did the pilot, had kind of established the look. But he kept it true to the Hellblazer, which is very dark, a lot of texture, very rich. Mm-hmm. And then it was the idea of just keeping it more of just very somber, just because John's friends die and everyone, it's kind of that thing of going, when's someone going to die? And I just would have loved it, like season 4, just like randomly Zed dies, and it's like, and boom, and all of a sudden you're like, kind of a very Games of Thrones-ish, but so it was that type of thing, and it's like the darker, the spookier, the better. It's like a ghost story, every episode.
All right, cool, definitely. Did Matt Ryan or any other cast members add an idea for the set at all as they came along?
I think everyone did. A little thing that, like, if you look at the taxi cab, that had the logo was a crown. Yeah. And Charles played he was like the Yellow King in True Detective.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
It's a yellow crown, Yellow King, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Matt was always bringing in things, and I think everyone kind of added to a little bit to the story and whatnot. Yes. Just saying hi.
Socializing.
Okay, you want to come in and say hi? We're doing a podcast.
Cool.
That's the AD for our show. So.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So there you go. Yeah, no, I think everyone did. And then especially, and Angelica got very involved in their sketching and that type of things. But I think overall it was a nice collaborative effort.
All right, brilliant. That sounds great. I know one of the things Matt did bring was the Welsh flag in the mining episode.
Yes, yeah. Well, that was written in there and which was odd because at one point Constantine says that I'm from Wales. It's a big mining town, and I guess it's not, or something like that. But I think So, or he's supposed to be from. That's it. He's supposed to be from Liverpool.
That's right. He's from Liverpool.
And that's not a big mining town. But I think it was nice to add that stuff in. But that was but the trick was that was actually written into the script because it was a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah.
And he references, maybe it's mythology, maybe the fire-breathing dragon is really what's doing this. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, brilliant. Yeah, it was nice to see because I'm actually in Wales at the moment. That's where I live. So.
Oh, nice.
It was good to see that appearing in such a brilliantly done show. Okay.
Well, what's funny about that episode was that I had done another series called Justified, and it was a lot of coal mine stuff, a lot of coal town stuff. So it's like when it came down to it, it's like they're like, "Oh, we got to do this coal mine," and everyone's freaking out. I'm like, "I got this one," and they're done that. And the guy who played the priest in that was one of our regulars on Justified, so that was kind of nice.
Right, cool. So,
we had a lot of the Justified cast on Constantine from Joelle Carter, who played the girl in the fourth episode with the disc, the record.
Yep.
Who found the record, and Richie, Jeremy Davies, who was also a regular on Justified. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, brilliant. It seems to be very close knit around these types of shows that they seem to sort of.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Cool. For you, that was the same as the other one, really. Okay, what movies or TV show inspired you to become a set designer? This is more about you than Constantine.
Well, it's funny. I was actually just trading emails, trading Twitter the other day with Joe Johnston, who he's the director of movies. What's his movie? He did October Sky. He did the first Captain America movie. Okay. And he's done so many, Jumanji, and as a director, awesome. What people forget is that he actually started out as the art director on Star Wars.
Wow!
And when I was a kid, I was looking at all these making of things and how they do it, and you're looking at this guy who gets to to create a spaceship, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, that's the art director. And I go, that's what I want to do. So I actually had a chance to meet him at the premiere for. Captain America, the first one, and I talked to him, and just the nicest guy in the world. But he sent me a signed copy of his storyboards of Star Wars book, and it was really nice to connect with someone who inspired you so much.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Definitely. I mean, I'm the Star Wars era as well, so that kind of anyone from that era is brilliant.
Well, then also to have obviously a huge Star Trek fan, to have William Shatner, it's tweeting with, and it's like,
oh god, yeah.
It's like, he's sitting there, saying, "Oh, well, this is great." I'm like, "Thank you, Captain Kirk." Oh my god, I just totally geeked out over that. But
yeah, I mean, that was awesome. I saw that on Twitter when we were going through, and he's been such a huge supporter, hasn't he? To be fair to him, he's really, really been behind it.
He has, and he's been behind a lot of the sci-fi movement that's really going on, and that it's really pushing forward because, you go back 20 years, Comic-Con's a bunch of people dressing up, kind of hiding in the closet. Now it's the biggest thing in Hollywood. So It's really, people see that it's, even as, 10, 15 years ago, a show like Game of Thrones doesn't get made. And it's like people, but now it's like people realize it's like, yeah, it's like us nerds were kind of cool. So.
Definitely. I mean, even I've got my wife into it as well. She started going to Comic Cons with me. I think she watched Paul, with Simon Pegg. Oh, gotta say, one of my most funniest films I've seen in ages. I love watching it. But that was one. Yeah, she saw that and she was like, now she wants to go to San Diego Comic Con. Are you a fan of the comics at all?
I had read a couple of them, and then obviously when you get into reading them, you get what I found interesting about them was the different style of the artwork. It's like you go from one edition to the other, and the different artists and the different authors. I've been a fan of Neil Gaiman's work before I read his books, but never this. So that was got me into it. And then you you're like, wow, this is really good stuff. Why didn't I? But it's like with the amount of work and everything else you have to, it's like if I read everything or watched everything and did everything, then I would have, no time to breathe. So.
That's very, very true. Cool. Was there anything you wanted to bring to an episode of Constantine, but you couldn't due to time and or cost?
All the time. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things. I mean, there were in episode 8 it was the Saint of Last Resorts. Zed runs into like the void room, and it was just like a black room of smoke, and it's like completely not what was scripted. It was supposed to be like the big inner gears of the mill house and this kind of crazy. I'm like, yeah, let's do that, but
yeah.
It was not enough money, and then it was like this floating room of staircases and things that she goes into, and then I'm in the same boat with a lot of viewers. I watch it on screen for the first time. I'm like, not what I was intending, but there you go.
All right, cool. Yeah, so everything sort of gets hit by cost and everything now again, no matter where you are. Okay, what set took the longest to set up, and which one did you have problems with?
Well, obviously the longest I think was the mill house because it was 2 stories and there was just so much that you didn't even see.
Yeah.
That between the kitchens and the back rooms and the things like that. So that and all the stone was all hand carved, and
wow.
We had to find reclaimed barn wood for the for all of that.
Fantastic.
But that was cool. And what set do we have the most problems with? The Funhouse in, I think, the second episode or second to last episode. There was where you go waiting on the man,
right?
Yeah, and he goes to a funhouse at like an abandoned amusement park and gets in a fight with someone who, and that episode was right in the world of having the major budget issues. So they're like, okay, you have no money. And I'm like, well, let's talk. What do you mean by no money? They're like, yeah, it's gone. It's so that set was actually built, and it took me back to my Roger Corman days. That set was built out of pieces of every set that we had done up until that point. So there's the window, there's a set of windows from the church. There's the hanging tubes were left over from the sewer system. There was like archway pieces left over from the mine. It was like another whole. He comes through this little round tube thing that was left over from the sewer. So everything was just leftover pieces of something.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we bought was a bunch of pool noodles that we had swinging around. But other than that, it was just reclaimed stuff. So it was challenging, but it was fun to go back to the roots of being creative and what can you do for $4.
Awesome. Cool. What was your favourite building? How long did it take? I guess the mill house, was your favourite building was?
Yeah, just because, and again, you're building something that you're assuming you hope is going to last for seasons, 4 or 5 seasons. So it's like you're building all this depth and possibilities into it, and you're like, well, in season 5 we could, it's like you go into the kitchen and there's a key put in, and it goes to a trap door and we had all the stuff built into the set, and you never saw it, and you're like, oh.
Damn
there it is. Yeah.
That really was a shame. It was heartbreaking as well when it came on. We saw all that happening. But we never know. Might get to build it again one day, hopefully.
Well, I'm sure the Hellblazers will come out in droves when Matt is on Arrow and show Warner Brothers that they should take a second look.
Oh, definitely. He hijacked an interview. I was speaking with John Joe last week, and it was half an hour in, and all of a sudden Matt was there because when I was conversing with you earlier, while he was trying to set things up as well, he just walked in for half an hour as well. So it did go crazy, and hopefully the fact he's going to be on Arrow will bring in a whole new raft of fans from across the board. Yeah,
I just sent up his lighters the other day up to Arrow, because they were freaking out that they needed those. So hopefully. My guess is they're going to start on a close-up of his lighting or something like that, just to introduce him or something. But
nice.
So I think they started filming yesterday. So
all right, brilliant, excellent. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I mean, it's small for now, but I think that's the start of how to get it going again. Is just to get that momentum. And I think I can't remember the chap's name, but he's not ruled out the possibility of bringing him back for more Arrow and Flash and.
Yeah, well,
and things like that kind of bring momentum then.
Yeah, I think CW is looking to become the DC network, so they see this as a product that's floating out there with a fan base.
Yeah.
And then, but mainly it's a negotiation between CW and DC. And it's like, can you come? What does it cost DC, CW to buy or to license the characters? So that'll be a thing. So.
Oh, definitely. Well, everyone's got their fingers crossed, as you know, from your activeness on Twitter. There's thousands of people all backing for this, and it can only go from strength to strength. The last question I've actually got for you today, Dave, before I let you get back to your very busy schedule, is what kind of music did you listen to when coming up with Constantine designs? This one's come. I will say, this one's come from Tracy in Scotland. I
will be 100% honest. And I didn't even know it until after we were just finishing up the Millhouse.
Yep.
And then I found out who was doing the score. Bear McCreary's music was on my computer the whole time. It was the Battlestar Galactica soundtrack.
Oh, fantastic!
Which is funny. So when they told me, I was like, holy shit! I'm getting to do a show with Bear McCreary. That's awesome. So and that's why I started talking with him, and we brought his uncle in to do he did actually the recording for the blues guy who dies in the fourth episode of the show with the old vinyl. That was his.
Yep.
No, it's not his uncle. It's his stepfather, I believe.
Oh, right, okay.
And we had actually one of the fans after the show make a real copy of the album and like a replica prop that actually played. So, and we sent it to Bear. So that was great. But yeah, no, totally. And in fact, I had sent Bear a thing saying, I need that Constantine soundtrack now. So when I'm designing my next one. But unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever happen. So. Oh,
damn. That's really cool. I'm sure Trace will be happy with that one. That actually brings me to the end of my questions now. So, I can see probably just a perfect point to let you carry on with your day. So thanks very much, Dave. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your hectic schedule for this.
Not a problem. Thank you guys for all, tuning in and keeping it going.
Okay. Is there anything you want to quickly say to everyone before we sign off?
Yeah, everyone needs to send me some positive energy on the 12th of September. So.
Oh yeah.
We go up for our Emmy, so it'd be nice to get something for them after all the show's done. So.
Oh no.
We'll win it for the Hellblazers.
Oh yeah, we'll be tweeting and retweeting and everything, and sending all our positive vibes to you on that day.
Excellent.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. I really appreciate your time, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and I'll speak to you soon. Hopefully. All right, cheers. Bye. Well, Hellblazers, that was Dave Blass. How was that for you? I hope it was good. I'm absolutely fascinated to see and hear how much of the Millhouse was real and generated as well, and such a shame that it had to end the way it did. Anyway, I hope you've all had a lovely time again, Hellblazers, and I shall be speaking to you soon. This is Chris Gordon, Ramblings of a Hellblazer, saying au revoir.